So I have a landline still, and I have a lifetime subscription to Roofing Canada, the print edition. It's all the news that's fit to print about all matters roofing. Both kind of a coincidence because of my dad. I took over the landline and the mail from what was his consulting business. He was a roofer. He died about 15 years ago. He started his career as a metal tradesman, a tinsmith, un ferblantier, a common working class trade in Quebec in the 1940s. He went on to manage a roofing company and then a consultant. He was the guy, the roofing guy, in Quebec, Ontario, and parts of the US. He was the guy who could ensure that your project, big or small, was on the square, the real deal, the right thing. Yeah, integrity was his brand. He was a truth-telling roofer. For most of his life, he was an artist, too, doing really cool things with metal long before it was hip. His work is found, yeah, yeah. His work is found in gargoyles and weather vanes and metal sculpture and elaborate roof designs all around Montreal and other cities. Any car ride with my dad would involve a detailed narration of architecture focused only on the roof. He would say, "Look up, look up. The artists are the real workers. The artists are the workers. The roof, any roof, has a story." So the landline resulted in some calls looking for his services, but they stopped soon after he died. But there's one call that has always stayed with me. A man's voice, sounding older and unsteady, calling, asking for my father by name. Could I call back? I don't recognize the voice. I don't know the name. I'm curious. It sounds different. I call back. He doesn't remember me calling. I say, the roofing guy. He doesn't remember. He says, "Tell me again, the roofing guy." Now it's awkward. I feel bad. I say, "I'm sorry." He says, "No, again, the roofing guy, you called, my dad." He says, "Yes," he remembers. He apologizes. I do too. He's ill. He's forgetting. He called. They worked together. "Were you a roofer?" "No, something with buildings. Architect, engineer." "Yeah, right." They did lots of projects together. He said my father was the only one he depended on. Anything related to construction. He knew everything. He said his reports were so good he still had them. He said there was no one like your dad. We keep talking. We catch up. He says he doesn't remember my father dying. He's sorry, but maybe he was at the funeral. Was he? Did we meet? I don't know. Did you do the eulogy? Yes, I did. Maybe we did meet. Our conversation starts to flow now, past the initial awkwardness. He says, "The cancer, you said he died." I say, "Yes, a glioblastoma multiforme, a fast-moving brain tumor. He died 3 months later." I recite that to him on the phone like it was yesterday. Yeah, we keep talking. 30 minutes pass. His voice softens, mine does too. He asks about my dad, about my family. We talk about him. He tells me about my father. It's what I already know, but it's nice to hear. "Your father was kind and honest and hardworking. He was really smart. He was a swell guy." Yeah, thank you. He was all those things. He was a great dad. I loved him. He said, "You sound so like him." And before I can answer, he says, "But wait, what do you know about roofing? What did he teach you?" I said, "Well, actually, thank you. No one has ever asked me that." My roofing education began when I was very young, and I'm pleased to tell you about it. I said, the thing is, unlike my dad, I'm terrified of heights, so this is not a good trait for a roofer, but I rarely went up with him, but I went to the shop with him on the weekends, and then it comes back. I remember my father teaching me how to use these massive green machines to cut metal. I learned about rivets and the many ways hammers are used to shape copper. I learned about metal flashing. Well, you can't see it from here, but it's all out there. It's the tops of the buildings that cling and hug the building to keep the water from seeping in. I learned about messy, sticky, smelly cauldrons of hot tar, asphalt. It stuck to my shoes. I tell the caller, wow, I forgot my dad bought me a Coke every weekend. He bought me my first protractor. I had a few later. Yeah. It all comes back. I say, thank you. He says, yeah, it's nice, it sounds just like him. He says, every roof has a story. Yeah, Dad used to say that. So, just between us, goddamn grieving. It's a curious thing. As time passes, the ick, the sad, the pain when you lose someone, it does pass. The clawing absence, the hole you feel every day, it does pass. It passes so much you think you're going to forget them, and then it comes back. Not the pain and the sad, but the feeling of them with you, the memory of them. It's vivid. For me, it's a strange thing. A Coke and a protractor brought them all back. Or every time I look at a goddamn roof in the city, metal, tin, copper, he's everywhere. And now this call, I think this call is different. I don't ask him why he's calling. An hour passes. We're talking about roofing and engineering, good design, bad design. We talk about boxing, his work, my work, our lives. We laugh about Roofing Canada. He tells me I've really kept up, by the way. He says I can cancel it if I want, but actually it's free if you sign up. They keep you for life. But it reminds me of my father, and I tell him it's really no coincidence. The landline, the mail. I transferred it over to me. At 80, my father was vibrant and working, and the brain tumor came, and it was over very quickly. And in the haste of managing his care, closing his business, my mom's grief, my own, I just transferred stuff. You know how it is. Be efficient. A short-term solution. One less thing to do. One more thing to hang on to. He says, your father must have been so proud of you. I think of your father a lot. I pause. I'm not sure what to say to him now. I don't know what to say to you. By the way, I'm sorry, there's no great truth-telling about roofing to come, no big reveal. My mind is racing in the call. I'm thinking, gee, this is awesome, right? A sweet, unexpected connection with a stranger who maybe isn't really a stranger to the family, talking about maybe another unexpected connection. I don't know what to say to him, but I do. I ask, were you close? His voice crackles. Your father, he was a great, great friend. He was a great man to me. It's not just any call. 90 minutes, we're still talking about how great it is that we're speaking. And I say to him, hey, I've actually never used this expression, and I don't know where it came from, but it's totally unroofer-like, but it's the best way to describe how I feel right now. My heart is full. He says, it's not goofy. His heart is full, too. Dad feels like he's with us, right? And he says, yeah, kind of. Can I call you again? Would you like to call me again? We could talk about roofing. He says, maybe, but I don't have much longer. I won't remember this call. What's it like, the forgetting? He can't answer. He says he lost his wife years ago. That was very bad. What he remembers now is from long ago. Friends, some family, work, right now, my dad. You sound so like him, he says. I have to go, but I want you to know. Of all the things that I will forget and have forgotten, I will never forget your father. Keep looking up. Every roof is a story. I call back weeks later. Why? Goddamn grieving. I leave a message. The recording, it's his wife. He told me he never changed the message. He never changed the landline. He never called back. My heart still full. Thank you.